What's up, everybody? This is Zach with the Nerd Cave, and I hope that you're having an awesome day. Today, we're going to be talking about Concrete Genie. And man, this game is so much fun. The game is beautiful, music is gorgeous. The story, like, it just took me on an emotional roller coaster all the way through until the very end. I'm so glad that this game is even out there. Gameplay revolves around painting and traversing the landscape, finding pages that you lose at the beginning of the game. And this game does such an awesome job of making you feel like you are the master painter, you are the artist. And I love that you get to create what the art looks like. There's no predetermined things, there are some suggestions, but you get to add your own flavor to the world, and it carries throughout the whole game. And when you're creating genies, you get to decide what they're going to look like. They're not predetermined. You decide, okay, this is going to be the model that I'm going to go off of. I'm going to add a tail. I'm going to add antlers. I'm going to add, this feature and that feature. I just love that there's so much creativity given to the player. There's so much just given to us freely in this game, and just the art style that is, if you've ever watched like Kubo or anything that is like that, man, this art style is beautiful, and it does such an awesome job at like James and the Giant Peach. That's what it has, that kind of feel to it. It just brings you into the world. It makes you feel like you're just a part of the art. But the gameplay just goes so well with the story. Of course, your nemesis in the game are these bullies, and you have to traverse the world while having to deal with these bullies. So there's a mechanic that is introduced of luring them away so you can get to the area that they're guarding and everything. The gameplay loop is pretty simple, but there's elements that are added to it throughout the game. There are little areas that are a little bit more difficult and meticulous. One thing that I do have to say is, if you're playing on just regular PS4, which there is a VR component that I did not get to check out, but the PS4 controller, they use that. You're having to like guide the art with your controller, and it is a little cumbersome, but you can go into the menu and change it to the right joystick, which that's better, but it's not 100%. But I thought there was a little bit more control with the joystick instead of the full motion control. I know they're trying to get people to use that and everything. Other than that gameplay side, I think everything's really well. The traversal is pretty easy. It's very basic. It's not as robust as like an Assassin's Creed, but I don't think it's needed in this area. But I really enjoyed the gameplay loops that are presented throughout. Man, the music is just gorgeous, from the flute to the strings, just the synths that are brought into the story. It just helps. It feels like a character in and of itself, and helps display the emotions that are going on. Also, when you're painting, just the sounds that each little piece of art has, it's very distinct, and once you play for a while, you get used to having those sounds representing these pieces of art. The genies as well have their own kind of way of communicating with you, and it's just a great way of accentuating what's going on in the story and the gameplay, and just the sound design and the music that was written for this game is, oh, it's so good. It just makes you feel warm inside. So the last thing that I want to talk about is the story. And story starts off, very simple. You're this kid that likes to draw, and there's bullies. It's a tale as old as time. As we discover more about the world, you really start to invest in what's going on. And the genies do such a good job of making you really invest in them. You care about them. And the bullies do a good job of being the foil to your character, Ash. But I just really enjoyed the story. It was basic enough, but it was deep enough to make me care about the world. There was enough, lore built into the game that made me want to see certain things, made me want to experience certain things. And by the time the credits rolled, there was some emotional moments in the game, and just the final half of the game, the final quarter, really, amped up some things and made you really experience it on a different level. The first three quarters, I would say, is kind of, relaxed. You have the bullies trying to come after you and everything, but it's a little bit slower pace at your own pace. And then the last, section definitely speeds it up a little bit, makes a little bit more tension, but it was really enjoyable. Like the pacing I thought was really good to it. And I just really liked how they told the story. It's very basic, and I think anyone can play it. That's the thing that I really like about it. It's not too kiddied for an adult to not enjoy it. It's not too advanced or have things that kids don't need to see. Everything was just right there in the pocket, and it was just such an awesome game to play through. I got it for my nephew, showed him like what it was and let him paint a little bit, and he was just enamored by it. And that's what games should be. It should be this fun experience of just creating something. And I know a lot of games go too far on the creation where it's like, oh, you need to create the whole game, but this one did the right way. There was a story there was a gameplay mechanics there, and you got to fill out the world. You essentially got to put the color into the world, and I love that about this game. So I would highly recommend it. It is just a great game. It's something if you get off work and you just need something to unwind, this is a game that I would highly recommend. This is just this is like Bob Ross in a video game. And I love just the gameplay loops, the different parts of the town that you get to explore, the different kind of genies that you get to create. There is so much here, and I haven't 100%ed it yet. That's something that I'm wanting to do, is like get the platinum for this, because I've enjoyed it so much. There's a ton to do here. There's also a free paint section. It's a little bit more confined compared to the open world, but if you're really just wanting to draw, if you're really wanting to paint, this is where you go and just kind of just chill. You don't have to worry about the story or anything. There is a VR component. Like I said, I didn't get to check that out, but from what I've seen, it's a little bit more on rails. It's not as robust as one would hope, but there is a VR integration, which I'm glad that to see more developers pushing VR in a way that is constructive. It's not like Resident Evil 7 where there's the whole game can be played that way, but there is a mode that you can play that. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. If you want to see more reviews, let us know in the comments below. We do stream on Mondays and Thursdays from 7 to 9 p.m. over on facebookgaming.com/nerdcave network. So put that on your calendar. Make sure to join in. I have a ton of fun with the chat, so come be a part of that. And I look forward to seeing y'all then. This has been Zach. Have a blessed week.